RC Underground Radio is your go-to podcast for everything RC.
Everything about Kirby's is awesome.
Especially the owner. He's so hot.
I could never find anyone like him on Tinder. For the record, I'm not on Tinder, just so you know.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I was kind of getting worried there.
More of a grinder guy.
Each episode features top-notch guests, industry leaders, and you, the racer.
Do you guys realize how much it costs to be friends with this dude?
So, grab your transmitter, buckle up, and join us on RC Underground Radio.
Say words.
Here are your hosts, Dave Brinkman and TJ Greer.
So again, for some of the newer racers, RTR, right, ready to run, is so predominant now that I think some people come in the hobby say, oh, okay, oh, cool, this assailant, or this mistress ready to run. We got to let people know this ain't a ready to run car. You are going to the next level. You've done an RTR. It's brought you into the hobby. You've had a lot of fun. And now you're like, I want to win. I want to be competitive.
You want a race car.
Yeah. Want that's a perfect way to put it. You want a race car. So what are you looking at in the box?
As far as
like, I open up the mistress. And what am I looking at? Chassis
bags,
obviously. Yeah.
bags. Bag A through G.
Nice.
A through G, bags, all bags.
Yep. You start with bag A and you figure out how to download the instruction manual onto your iPhone. You squint really good, and you start building it. And
or if we don't have instructions, just get a ton of messages because
right.
That's
an everyday thing.
Right.
Yeah, we do still have we have a couple cars that don't have manuals. I mean, it's the Prodigy is one of them. We don't have a manual for.
It's like every other day, and I'll be super willing to help them because I know it's if you've never built like a car with a kick up and you're like, well, it's nothing like the 20. It is, but it isn't. It's close, it's comparable, but it's not. And
I'm going to be honest, the reason we didn't do it is I didn't think we'd sell enough of them to justify the effort. So we've actually surpassed that. So there has been talks of us doing something with a manual for that car, just because we do sell enough of them to probably justify it. We've kind of skated by with it, and fortunately now like the front end of a Prodigy versus the front end of like a Hustler or a Mistress is all the same. I mean mostly the same, not all, but so we can kind of steer people into you want to build the car this way with this, and then I don't know that. And for the most part, most people that are buying that level of a car have some sort of an idea of how things need to go together. It's not their first. Most people are not buying that for their first RC car.
Right.
It might be their first purpose-built car that they got to build completely themselves, but they've taken apart their other car enough that getting the cars put together most of the time is not the problem. It's actually getting them put together with some sort of a setup on them.
Get their baseline or what they think is a baseline, and I'm like, hey man, you're out in right field. This is what I would do, and so I explain why I would, or I build a car for 6 months, drive it, and turn around and sell it, and I sell it for a price that I'm not going to go and try and profit off of because that's not what I'm here for. If I can turn around and sell a car, it's going to get me into another baseline car that I can build and have something fresh and new. Then, that's usually what I like to try and do. And that for us keeps other people in cars that want to, be comparable or competitive in the same class. So
for sure. No, that's a great way to go at it. That's a good perspective. How long does it take to build a car? TJ, you built some of them.
Depends on how much time you have. I mean, are you trying to thrash one at the track in 2 hours? Like, it just depends. Take your time, 4 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 6. You got to cut the body out, paint it. Depends on all that, each one's a little bit different. Like with the Prodigy, everything's pre-cut. All I got to do is just mount it, take it back off, put it all together with the wrap, good to go. Assault, I got to cut the body out, got to cut the wing out, Assailant, same thing. Got to get the body cut out, put a wrap on it, painted. So Each one's a little bit different.
Okay, but doable. Definitely doable for anybody. When you talk about the setup, are there places online? I'm sure through social media, people are posting setups all the time. Is there like a go-to GFRP site for that, like a community?
So within Facebook alone, there's pages like a GFRP blah 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 car owners group. So setups get shared in there, and then we have them on our website as well that you can download. That's one of the things that's like on our list of things that we want to add and make better within our website. Because a lot of the setup stuff currently, with our website being a commerce website first and foremost, a lot of that stuff is actually kind of a total pain in the rear end to try to get organized and look clean on the website.
Sure.
So we want to make it to where that's going to be much easier to just, click and download. Unfortunately, like right now, that's not the easiest task on our website.
You got to purchase it for nothing.
Yeah, basically you got to go through a purchasing process and then it gets emailed to you. Even though it doesn't cost you anything, there's still steps involved with putting it in your cart, checking your email confirmation to finally get the product versus just clicking download. So that's something that we're working on, and hopefully later this year we can actually have that accomplished. It's something that we've talked to our web designer a few times about, and I mean honestly, he's just so busy doing other things that he hasn't really had the effort or the time to put into it. I don't think is the biggest problem there.
But you know what though, that kind of stuff. Sometimes that kind of stuff is cool, right? Like flow, completely different topic, but flow racing. So I've been a member of Flow Racing all the way back when they were actually called Loud Pedal Productions, right?
Yep.
And it was grassroots, man. I mean, it was I really think they were using a GoPro. One GoPro and following the racing, right?
Yep.
And sure, it's a big production now and you can sort and you can do that. There's a lot of times I go, man, I kind of miss that. Like I kind of miss the old GoPro when it goes out every once in a while. I mean, it was just because they were trying so hard, right?
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up over that.
Honestly, that's the thing that I think a lot of customers, especially guys that came from like the off-road world that are entering oval world, they're just so accustomed to big companies. Like, they're used to buying a kit from TLR, Associated, X-Ray, Schumacher, whoever that has a
paper manual.
That has a paper manual that they've spent 400 hours perfecting, and they got $10,000 in a manual, and they have employees that's all they do. They sit down and they design a manual. So it's like I know we catch a lot of grief for it. So I know some of my competitors are doing the same. They're getting it as well. It's just they don't understand that, like Associated probably has the amount of employees that we have total is they have that in their marketing. So, I mean, cause whenever it comes down to it, like as far as us and what we work with, I mean, we have 9 total employees. But 5 of those really do primarily machine shop stuff. They don't even do they make RC car parts in the machine shop, but their jobs are primarily machine shop based, not anything really to do with GFRP per se, outside of this is just a part that they're making for us. So yeah, it can be a headache at times just because of the perception, because you have the people who are like, well, I spent $700 on this kit or $600 on this kit and I can't get this, and there's not a phone number that I can call, and just all of that. And it's like,
well, the good news is
it's a struggle.
You've got a great army behind you that is willing to step in and hopefully deflect and take some of those side responsibilities that are not exactly expected, but do make things a lot easier. So just trying to be, willing to help others and my setup may not be what's perfect for them, but at least I can get them to put the right screw in,
Yeah.
or hey, this is backwards, you got to flip your bulkhead around. I had a guy do that. He's like, hey man, we have the exact same car. And I was like, kind of. He's like, my shocks are touching my shock tower. I'm like, your bulkhead's on backwards.
Yep.
Just simple things like that. Like,
Sure.
I'm not here to tell you like, hey, you're wrong. It's like, just flip your bulkhead around, you'll be a lot better. Just simple things. But your average keyboard warrior is going to go out there and bash the world because they feel it's necessary to say you can't afford to have a manual, and it's not about not affording it. It's the time consumption it takes to do that before this product is already almost obsolete in 2 years.
Well, and I think it comes down to, again, being new to it all, is at the end of the day, what you're paying for is a car you could win with, or at least have a really, really good shot.
Oh yeah.
And how your internet experience is going to impact your decision to buy something else or buy a car that can win. I would rather that you're spending your time on developing a car that can win rather than putting lipstick on a pig on your website and on your documentation. Because TJ hit it. In today's world of social media, there's people there to help you. There's people who are passionate about GFRP and want to see GFRP be solid. And so they're out there to help, while Dustin and his focused group can just continue to make these cars so dominant. And that's your lane, man. When I look at it from the outside in, that's your lane. And I really respect that you don't let the noise change that. You're like, hey, I love for the site experience to be better. Yes, I would love for the documentation to be better. But I'm a race car manufacturer, and that's where you're at. And don't feel guilty about that. The rest of it,
I don't.
You're right. And if somebody's listening to this and they're like, just make that go to the front of your head, is whatever the experience is to get to the car, you're gonna get the car, and there is gonna be support, and you're probably gonna go out and race like you've never raced before. And something's got to be right, or the most dominant amount of cars at RC Chili Bowl would not be GFRP. So if that doesn't tell you that, just have a little patience, just take a breath, and wait till you get this monster in the mail and put it together and hold on. I mean, me hearing your story, I'm more excited to get one because I do know the real story, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate your gang and what you guys are doing. So again, don't let any of that other noise, and you said you don't, so that's awesome.
Nah, I don't. I've done it long enough. It used to bother me quite a bit, and then I've learned if you got a crowd of 100 people, there's going to be ones that are booing, ones that are clapping, and then you got a bunch in between that don't really care. And
it's like 80-20. Like 80% of the
crowd's
noise. Clap. Yeah,
it's just noise at this point. I mean, there's people that have never met me, and they think I'm just a terrible person, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I can't remember who said it, but I love the quote, and it's like, if you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. And it's like, that's just, as soon as I heard that, I was like, man, that's perfect.
It resonates.
Puts it all in perspective.
Yeah, because I love it, and that's just where I am. I mean, some people say that's arrogant of me to say, but it is what it is, I guess. If that's what they want to consider it, then so be it.
How can you not like a guy who just gives you honesty? You're transparent. You're honest. That's why I was really glad that you came on the show, and I'm glad that you touched on that, because, sometimes the people say, this or that. If they don't walk away from this show going, you know what, I think I read that guy wrong. He tells it like it is. He's transparent. He does know where there's areas of improvement. We all know we can improve on stuff. And he'd love to.
Well, I mean, it's reading the room. I talk about it a lot with a lot of people. You know, some people want to approach, let's say, Dustin or Chad or any of the top drivers, and they want to, you know, I'm like, read the room. You know, if these guys are over there thrashing on the car and they're out at a big race, like, yeah, they're going to take time to talk to you. It may not be right in this very minute. It may not be when he's, you know, 10 fingers deep in his car and his transmission's pulled apart and he's, you know, just read the room. You know, a lot of times there's bad taste or just staying left in mouth because, you know, am I willing to set my car down to go work with somebody else's? Sure. You know, but in that very moment, like I may, hey, give me a minute or two and I'll come back, you know, let me finish this so I don't, you know, mess up where I am, you know, but a lot of times just read the room. You know, if he's in the middle of a conversation with somebody and you come and interrupt, like, what do you expect the guy just to be cool with? You know what I mean? Like, just read the room. You know, I'm not gonna go over there and bug him 24/7. I got a question, it's answered, I'm gone. You know, I'm gonna go take care of business. It's simple. You know, but it's just that reading the room. I think 9 times out of 10 would probably fix that problem.
Yeah, I honestly, I think with me, a lot of people feel that I'm like lying to them, or I just don't want to take the time to help them because it'll be like they'll come on. Somebody comes and asks me a question for a short course modified, like a Prodigy or something. I'm like, you could ask somebody else.
Go ask
Yeah,
Jones.
go ask Jones. Like that's going to be my common response because I've driven the new Prodigy one time. I've raced it one time. Jones basically designed that car with changing his other car numerous times, and then I threw a different front end on it, and we tested it, and he was happy. You know, people come up and they ask me what shock oil is in my car. I tell my team guys what shock oil I put in my car, so hopefully they remember because I have like 14 cars and they're all in various stages and, you know, gearing, I couldn't tell you. I'll gladly, like a lot of times my response is my car's right there, pick it up, look at it.
Yep.
I don't know. And I genuinely don't know. If I know, I'll give you the answer. If I don't know, I'll give you that as my answer. And yeah, it's just, I know a lot of people like used to, and it's getting better. I think a lot of people realize now that like I'm not lying to them. I genuinely just don't know, and I think it's because a lot of my team guys are like, "Yeah, don't ask Dustin." Like you come at me with a part number, I'm gonna laugh because, dude, I have no idea what any
it's
of
a
our
part number. You say
are.
find G.
That's find G. Ask Joel. Email Joel. Email G. I just don't know them. It's that stuff that doesn't need to occupy my brain space.
It's my favorite part of the show. we're getting the young lady in the background. I told her I wanted to do it every show, and she's doing it for me right now. Where she photobombs us.
Hey, talking about you. Come here.
I was trying to photobomb it.
Come here. Here.
Yeah. See? She said I'm doing my photobomb thing.
You put them on. You say hi.
What?
This is Dustin,
what?
GFRP, and Dave.
Hi.
What's going on, girl?
I was trying to photobomb it again.
I know. I stopped the show. I stopped the show and I said she's doing
softball player.
Yeah.
Yeah. What position?
Pitcher catcher.
Pitcher catcher.
Yeah.
That's a interesting combo.
Yeah, she throws the high pitch and then she runs and then she catches it. It's amazing. You got to see it. It's amazing.
No.
I played catcher for years in baseball, so
I didn't
sorry
have
for
to
your
start
knees in the
pitching.
future.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I told her a few episodes ago, I said, I want you to do that. I want you to, like, every show, think about it and like photobomb us. And she was doing it. I was like so happy.
I tried to every
What grade are you in?
I'm a junior. I'm about to go
You're
into
a junior?
my senior year.
Where are you going to college?
I don't know yet.
Come on. Are you wanting to play at the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an offer
hey.
from Anderson University.
There you go. Anderson's a good school.
Yeah, and I have like 4 other options.
Is your ride as exciting as a soggy sandwich?
Does your wardrobe scream,
I'm not trying?
turn heads with Carpies, the place for custom wraps, apparel, and all things awesome. Want to look cooler than your neighbor? Want a wrap that makes your car the talk of the town? Want apparel that screams,
I'm not basic?
Carpies has you covered. Carpies, custom wraps, apparel, and more.
Because who wants to be boring?
Visit Carpies. Wrap your world. Wear your swag. Visit carpies.com today. Introducing Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, the ultimate solution to boost your grip and speed on dirt, carpet, or pavement. Papa Willie's gives you the traction you need to leave the competition in the dust. Just apply and watch your car stick to the ground like never before. No more spinning out, just pure relentless traction. Get Papa Willie's Traction Tonic and put the pedal to the metal. Available online. Visit papawillies.com today. Papa Willie's, where traction meets action.
So I'm glad we're in this conversation because we're really talking about Dustin the person. And I know that's probably going to be uncomfortable for you, Dustin, but it's really important to us. I mean, we've already talked that you're transparent. You tell it like it is. But if anybody wants to question who you are, let's talk a few minutes about the Rising Star program.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, you took that thing and put the foot to the floor, man, and took it. And the one that really made it rock solid, you gotta agree, was Dustin and GFRP.
Well, I probably didn't put as much emphasis as I probably should have in the amount of time that I did. I mean, it was just kind of like hey, I got a month and a half before Chili Bowl. I can get this put together,
Right.
Well, I mean, what's the least I can do? I'll do it. So I did it. We got it together, and then, we go to Chili Bowl and I was like, I've got to find this person and I'm looking for like something that stuck out. And that girl did, you know what I mean? Like, obviously we've already done a show on her. We already know who Jordan Man is. And I was like, just getting introduced, being in the Exalt tent, this girl walks over and I recognized her. And so like, she kind of became like almost like a sidekick all weekend, or all week. She'd come over first thing in the morning and I'm soldering in motors for Ryan Ralph every other day because that's what we were doing. Different. It was just every day, something different, and she'd come over and watch and she was wanting to learn, where some other kids are chasing each other around. But once we gave her the program, I was like, hey, let's walk around and introduce you to all these sponsors that took a part of this, and brought her over to the GFRP trailer, introduced her to, G, Roberts, Chad, and Dustin, and got to talk to them. And, originally, like, I was thinking, an assailant's a baseline that you can probably get in with something and be competitive. And the reality of it is talking to her, she's high by everywhere over there in the Carolinas. So, in the wrong car, but they were like, Dustin said, let's put you in the right one. So we'll send you some foam tire stuff, some high bite stuff, and we'll get you guys taken care of, which I know that one, I didn't expect and her to expect, but she didn't really know what to say. Yeah. Well, she walked away and she had even said, she was like, she walked into Chili Bowl. She wasn't a sponsored driver by any means, but her response was when she saw some of the drivers that she can see online racing, she was like, how are they sponsored? And just told her, I said, sometimes it's just a friend of the business. They've got a good brand that they're following behind. And sometimes that's what the company wants. They want that image sometimes. She was willing to learn. For an 11-year-old, wicked smart, man. Just an absolute sponge. But yeah, Dustin threw out kits to her and took care of her and her dad. And I mean, they just posted up cars. They've built 12 cars since February.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely thrash. And that was the thing, is they didn't have the top tier quality equipment, but she was competitive. She ran, I don't know, 3-4 classes, and I got to watch her in like SEB mod, and she was out there whooping on boys. I mean, she was whooping on them.
Yeah,
So,
you said
she drove
the guys that actually created the class, right? She was beating them.
Yeah, the guys that they still put it on for, that still show up. Yeah, I mean, she was behind Zach Lutch. She's like a 10th off him. You know what I mean? And Zach's 2-time Chili Bowl winner, in the same class.
Right.
So back-to-back years, he won it in the same class. So for her to go there as an 11-year-old, I'm not saying 11-year-old can't go win. Look at Sandon,
Yeah.
Sandon went there in a Associated Street Stock and killed it. He drove his butt off, but those kids, they just got better precision than older adults. As we get older, like, our precision goes away, we're losing sight. Your peripherals get a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
These young kids that come in, they're better. Same thing in off-road. You get these off-road guys, they come in there and they kill it because, they have better precision than what we do. It is what it is. It's probably why Dustin went and raced off-road.
That was just fun. There's other reasons too, but
yeah. But no, Dustin, I mean, that was so cool. I'm sure you get emails and requests all the time. Hey, we're doing this race, or hey, we're doing this. Can you throw us something?
Yep.
You did the reverse. Like, sure, you were asked, hey, could you donate something? But then after you donate something, it could have just been done and fantastic. You go, no, this isn't the right application for this girl. And then, you send her a different kit that actually fits what she does. I mean, that really impressed me. And that goes back to anybody who's going to say, oh, Dustin, go home, man. Just go home, because Dustin's a good dude, and not anybody does that. So you kind of remind me of Dale Earnhardt.
Oof.
And the reason that is because you got this rough exterior. You even got black, silver, and red on today. I mean, this is kind of weird. I'm bringing this up. But he used to do a lot of things for people. I always heard the story where he was they were traveling, and so he went to a church, and they talked about it at the church that they're taking up donations for the parking lot. They get the parking lot tore up and repaved. And he waited till everybody was gone, went around the back, talked to the pastor, and said, hey, just tell whatever it is, just send me the bill. I only have one request. You don't tell anybody.
Yep.
You tell anybody, I'll never come here again. And you kind of strike me as that guy.
I don't really care to get recognition for it. Like, I do it because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I just, I mean, people see a lot of it and everything, and whether I like it or not, I have like a platform, I guess, so to speak, just with my RC page and just with the company itself. And so I try to use that to as much good as I can. I mean, we try to help out, we do raffles for this, that, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And, we try to give back as much as we can. I mean, at the end of the day, in 99, 2000, I was an RC racer trying to figure out, how do I earn a spot on somebody's, like, back then, man, if you didn't have a battery sponsor or have somebody to hook you up with good batteries, you were toast. I mean, you couldn't do anything. And, my buddy, Dusty Kemp, I talked about earlier, I asked him one day, I was like, man, it's like, how do you get sponsored? And he's like, when they come up and ask you. It's like, well, you don't go ask them. He's like, no, they come up, they ask you, they want you. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I remember the first time whenever somebody took a chance and gave me a team deal. And so, like, that stuff, I don't know. I'm kind of old school with a lot of that stuff. My dad was a truck driver, worked his ass off, didn't get to watch me grow up, play sports. We raced. No clue how he afforded to do what we did, because we didn't live a lavish lifestyle. We damn sure couldn't afford to race like we did. But he made it happen. And that's the one thing that he always kind of instilled in me is there's nothing in life that you can't do without enough work. Like, you can work your way into anything, and it's just kind of how I look at it. And then he also, one of those things is, just help those who need it, and that's, I don't know, that's just kind of where I was. My grandpa was that way too. Just somebody needed help, you help them.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
That's kind of what I do. And kind of same deal. There's things that I don't really care if people know that I'm helping out. It's just, I'll just do it because I want to. I don't need recognition for it.
And that was part of it too, was knowing I could probably go to every single one of the sponsors that I have, and they would donate something that meant something to the program that would help it. You know what I mean? It wasn't, even if they weren't going to be able to, which I'll be honest, everybody took time to donate, which was awesome. But if they weren't going to, it didn't matter. I was still going to make it happen. So that brand was still going to be exposed. That's something that's huge for me as a driver. While sometimes I don't always win, it's okay, but just being good representation of the brand for the right ways, that matters, and I'm sure in other companies they probably value that in some drivers, and some want different drivers for different reasons, you know. But when I heard that program, I was like, man, you know, because I got a soft spot for the kids. You know, being a previous coach, you know, I value the moral compass we try to instill in, you know, any kid, whether it be my own 17-year-old daughter or a 17-year-old friend or another girl that calls me dad that's, you know, got a dad and mom in their life, you know, and they're okay with it, you know, comes into the house, walks in, goes, first thing they do is go to the fridge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of those.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they don't have my last name, but
They're my bonus kids.
Yeah, definitely
Right.
bonus dad, bonus kid, you know. But so when I see the kids out at the track, that's what it's about, man. Like for me, it's the future. You know, I love seeing the kids do well. I just love seeing others do well too. But obviously, I want to beat them too. You know, but there's something about the young ones, they do well. You know, Jordan, Sandon, they're prodigies. You know, but they
Addison
deserve.
Kroll.
God, I wish, man.
I wish he'd come work for me.
Well, there's your official offer, Addison.
Yeah, I'd love for her to come work for me.
Actually, I think that offer was done like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
it was put in plan 4 years ago.
Yep.
All right, so tell me about
graduate
Addison.
school, come work for me.
Addison is an unreal RC car driver. She's really good in almost anything she gets into. But SE Mod, she was good in a GF6, man.
Yep.
With a little bit of Ryan Ralph touch on it, and her dad. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's unorthodox, but it works.
All right, we got to get her on the show.
We try. I'll get her and her dad. They're a hoot, man. Al's a good guy. The
Great
whole family.
people.
Yeah, they're great. They're good people.
Great people.
All right, so we'll get back on. So yeah, we're talking Rising Star and what went on there. That was super cool. So what's in the future? I'm not going to ask you race cars because I'm sure that just comes up as time goes. I know you're perfecting those two cars, but like, where are you racing? Where can if people wanted to come up, and it sounds like talk to your cohorts, not you.
They can talk to me. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just teasing.
Just some teasing. Questions I'm not going to have an answer for.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the biggest question people have is, how do I get one? So I might have a few questions. Hey, I'm racing this like I did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I'm going to race it for this, which is my best car type of thing. So where's GFRP and the GFRP gang going to be here in the next over the summer racing?
Oh, so like tomorrow night I'm going to BB Mods, which is Friday, and then what else do we have coming up? So I know the elite race that's coming up at Cedar Bluff. Joel and some of the team guys are going to that. I'm actually going to North Carolina that weekend to race. I don't remember what the heck the race is called.
Carolina
Cup? Something. Yeah, Carolina Cup. So I'm going to go down and race that. We're doing that. I'm taking my daughter and my bonus daughters are going down to that with me and my wife, and we're all going to stay. They're staying in Wilmington. And I'm going to try to just drive back and forth while we're down there and run that race. But the truck and trailer will be at Cedar Bluff at the evidently there's a cat in the house.
Nice.
At Cedar Bluff, the truck and trailer will be there. I'm trying to think of what other races. I'm going to try to hit as many Friday night races that they're going to have at Raw RC. They don't have that posted yet, but I know that they are going to do that.
Yeah, Shannon just called me 2 days ago. Well, yesterday. He called me yesterday and asked me if I was what I would do. I was like, I'll be there. There's no brainer. Friday night racing, I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know what other big races we got going on. I know we'll kind of be around the Indiana, Illinois area a decent amount. Like I was telling TJ's daughter earlier, it's like this is the first year in 13 years that I haven't had club in the spring. So
yeah,
I don't know. This is new for me. I never get to race during this time. I'm always at a soccer field. So
that makes sense why you've had time to do some social media. You've been doing some lives. And
he's been doing that for a couple years.
been
Monday
doing that?
snippets.
Alright.
Yeah, it's like
Alright,
they need to be
I need
called.
to get back on doing those.
It needs to be Monday with Malicoat. That's what it needs to be
Yeah.
called. Coin it. We'll get you a logo. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but see, then I'm tied in. I got to do it all the time.
Yeah, but you always did it on Mondays.
I used to always do it on Mondays. I used to always try to do
It was Monday or Tuesday, and it would be like, this is what we have. And it was like the update. This is what's in stock. This is what we're going to.
And I really should do it because it did help. It keeps people
show.
informed. And, a lot of my live stuff, man, I'm in and out.
Mhm.
Get them in, get them out, get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just try to get the information to the people and be done. Just move on.
Maybe
there's
it just
not a
needs to
whole
be
lot
minutes,
of them.
minutes with Malicoat.
Yeah, something like that would be fine. Yeah, because it's on the Monday deal. It's just, I actually like that. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Listen,
She's gonna enforce this.
Yeah, I should have. See, minutes with Malicoat. I should have went to like branding school or something because
You should
I told you if I was smart,
You
I
could
would have done
trademark it, and then I got to pay you.
No, we'll just do contingency funds.
Yeah,
See,
that works.
There's my avenue. Contingency
Well,
funds.
if you want to, TJ, there is a way that we can train him to see if he's ready for something that would be like about a minute's worth of time.
Yeah, we call that quick time. If you don't know what that is, you're going to find out.
Oh boy.
So QuickTime is something we put together. We time you and we ask you questions that are RC related or racing related.
Okay.
And we just see how quick you can get through them. So being that you like to be a top qualifier and then step on everything in between once you get that.
I'm fabulous at TQing and not winning.
Yeah, we know.
I've done that a lot.
It was pretty cool seeing him Ricky Bobby that thing down the backstretch at Raw last weekend.
So broke away for an Applebee's commercial and came back, right?
Yeah.
Still flipping.
It happens.
Yeah, it was still going. So, all right. So what we'll do is I've got a list of questions and they're simple and it's usually just a one-word answer or something. They're not yes or no, but it's just a simple response. We'll put a timer up on the screen. You won't see it now, but you will see it on the show with the logo of QuickTime. So,
right. I just got to find my timer. Hold on. I always struggle.
So I'm just going to count down 3, 2, 1. I'll ask you the first question. As soon as I'm done with that question, he starts the timer for you.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Sounds, I guess.
It's simple. It's simple. You'll like it. I hope. All right. Ready? 3. Hang on. My dog wants to get involved. Lucy.
She's telling him a question she wants to ask.
Hey, go.
She's like, ask him.
Go.
Where did that cat come from?
She's just like, I smell the cat through the screen. No, go.
The cat has my allergies messed up. I can tell you that.
No. We'll make this quick.
All right, here we go. All right. 3, 2, 1. Favorite RC tool?
My little Matoba drill thing.
Okay. Favorite trackside snack?
Oh, that's rough. Almonds.
Favorite local track?
PTs.
Favorite out of town track?
PTs.
What is your RC ick?
Lame race reports.
White wheels or yellow
directions?
Yeah. White wheels or yellow
White.
wheels? Sprint or late model?
Sprint.
SE mod or B mod?
I don't even know why we have B mod.
Perfect. Midget or non-wing?
Oh, midget.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
High bite or loose dirt?
Loose dirt.
Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke. Diet Coke.
Max rear steer or left rear only?
Depends on the track.
Clean car or wait till it breaks?
Depends on my schedule.
440 or metric?
Oh, metric.
Trackside food or DoorDash?
Depends on the track.
Ball diff or gear diff?
Depends on the track.
Tire prep or dry tire?
If you're gonna police it properly, dry tire, but good luck.
Yeah. Steak or chicken?
together combo.
Nice.
Deep dish or thin crust?
Oh, thin crust.
Favorite fast food?
Salad from Chick-fil-A.
Well, then that was the last one. What's your order? Ding, ding, ding.
Not bad. Minute 56.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Awesome.
bunch of random ass questions that we were like, we should ask these stupid questions. And then like every single one we do, somebody's like, you should ask this. Or I'm at a track and they're like, hey, you're on the podcast. You should do this. I'm like, let's add it to it.
Yep, I added to it.
So
Gets people talking. Everybody loves the segment. So
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think what everybody loves the most is questions that you wouldn't, or answers that you wouldn't expect. So your answers were great. That was a great job, Dustin. So
it catches them off guard because they like we never really send out like, hey, we want to talk about this. Sometimes we do, but a lot of times it's really just like on the spot. We want to ask what's new, what's going on. Tell me your story, and then like, does it take a curve to right field? Like, and then we, but no, it's usually pretty good.
it was awesome.
Those are typically the best ones anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
when
and
it's
they
so
don't know what's
when it's
coming.
so scripted and you gotta abide by a script, it's not real. I don't feel like you can believe the story or believe you believe the information you're getting to. Which I'm not the best at podcasting. I just do it because I got a face for radio.
You're awesome at it, buddy. No, actually, and that's the way we do it. We don't write down any questions. I'll do a little background just so I know respectable enough about the guest, but really it's just keep it organic. Just roll with it. That's the best. It's just three dudes like we're sitting at a bar talking RC cars. We're sitting trackside. Should probably say that. That's probably a better way to say it, right? We're sitting trackside just talking RC cars. So, hey, Dustin, want to thank you. TJ said it best. I've been trying to put this together for about a year. You've been busy. We've been doing stuff, so it really means a lot that you took the time. I'm really glad. Initially, I was looking forward to telling the story about GFRP, but I'm really, really glad we were able to tell your story.
Yeah.
Because you're a good dude. You're just a straight up dude, and I appreciate that. I appreciate what you do for the hobby, rising star, but what you do for just racers around the country, because you said it, you give them the opportunity to race a race car, and that's super cool. So,
Yep. We build race cars, not battle bots.
There you go.
That's another one that I like when people are like, this thing breaks too easy. Well, I've never seen something break that didn't get hit. Didn't take a hit first. So
exactly. So, all right, everybody, we want to thank you again, as you always do. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your support of our sponsors, Carpies. Just a great wrap company. They do full size cars too, so not just RC cars, but they knock it out of the park on RC cars. And their merch is amazing. I just ordered some more today, and I got some last week, and it's super cool. The toy car nerd one just can't beat that one. And obviously, Papa Willie's. They got like 7 different brands that'll work for your car on all different styles of dirt. We just talked about dirt tonight, so you're going to need them. So, again, thank you to Dustin. Thanks, Tej. Thanks for jumping on tonight, buddy.
Oh, yeah, always. Blast. I'm glad we were able to get Dustin on here and hear the story and break some of the silence since he's not doing his Malicoat minutes anymore.
2 episodes with Dustin. Doesn't get better than that. That's when you know it's a good guest, when we make it into 2 episodes. So a lot we covered. We covered GFRP, the story. We covered Dustin himself, and we're really glad that we were able to tell that story. So, again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you for listening to the RC Underground Radio Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your fellow racers about the show. Tune in again next week for more RC content.